Welcome back to Hawaiian version of category management. Okay, chapter 4.6 is in the category management principles book. Once again, pause the video and go buy the book. Welcome back. All right, so I'll move out of the way. You can freeze, you can do a screenshot, you can take a picture of this. We're moving right along. We're moving right along in the process of category management, and now we're heading into tactics. And of course, strategy is always followed by tactics. It's supposed to be. So let's go to this side. This is what we're trying to accomplish here. Where this step identifies or validates the specific actions. Remember, we're not just putting this together saying my gut tells me this should happen. We're putting it together to actually come up with real data. The real data is going to be, okay, this is exactly what we're going to accomplish. And then you have to complete the analysis. You can't just go out with this. You've got to put this together in some kind of a form. I'm listing 4 of them here. These are the 4 major tactics that you would use in the food business to drive your business. One is the assortment. Of course, remember, what's our key principle on assortment and category management? Correct. Efficient assortment. All right. So you can't just go through and say, I'm going to carry everything that the customer is looking for. That's not efficient. All right. They may love you for it, but you sit on inventory. Inventory is money. The money is cash flow. You get the picture. So your assortment is going to be role dependent. As you can imagine, if you're a destination category, you're going to have more assortment. This gives you the criteria for carrying and deleting, okay? Because this has something to do with whether or not you want to hit those. Remember, everything kind of goes like this. You have a long tail on both sides, and remember, we have coffee ice cream could be sitting way over here. Nobody ever buys coffee ice cream, but there's nothing that replaces coffee ice cream, so you need to carry it. So that's what I mean by the criteria. Vanilla, chocolate, those guys, they're a dime a dozen. Pricing. So this is a mix. Okay, so you have a price mix inside categories, and then the role of the categories gives you the pricing mix inside your overall merchandising department. So if you run category management, you have to have some idea of the mix of every category and then the mix of the total department, and then of course you have the fresh side and you have a center store side. So all of this mix works together depending on whatever it is that you're trying to put on the bottom line, and which of course is determined by your format. You're correct. So you have a price mix. It's role dependent as well, and sensitivity. And remember one point about this book. We are assuming that every product in this assortment is sensitive. Keep that in mind. You are much stronger as a marketer if you assume every product is sensitive. If you know that certain items are not sensitive, like milk. Milk is a key sensitive item in regards to pricing, but if you go up a little bit, people don't just automatically leave you in droves to go somewhere else. They will eventually. But gas is not a sensitive item. That's always the best example. Gas is not sensitive. You just keep driving, you take the money from somewhere else. So in reality, your sensitivity, assume everything is sensitive. If you go up in price, your demand will go down. That's what I mean by sensitive. I'm trying to get you to focus on some other way to drive the category other than I'm going to take the price down. Promotion. Various methods. There are a ton of different ways you promote your product. Ads, displays, etc. And my favorite, limited time onlys. Always have limited time onlys. This is what drives excitement. All right, so now shelf presentation. Limited time only, comes in, goes out. I'm hoping I don't have to explain that to you. This is not seasonal. Seasonal is expected. Pumpkin is expected. Halloween is expected. Christmas is expected. This is lobster pizza in August. Right? This is stuff that just kind of comes out and says, get it while you can. The craft beer industry is awesome at this. All right, so shelf presentation. This is what you're determining the point of sale is going to look like. So this means if you're in the industry, you think of point of sale as being the register. This means point of sale. This is a point of purchase decision at the shelf. Shelf space is determined by categories and layout and store space. And it might take you more space to get a category in the customer's in front of the customer than others. And obviously spices are tiny, right? But if you want to go through and make sure that you have the right assortment of K-cups, those are kind of bulky, right? Because you're not getting a lot of yield out of a K-cup case. There's only like 12 or 14 or something like that in there. And you have to have a lot of variety. So where variety used to come easier and more compact, now it's larger and larger. Teas the same way, those kind of things. And so, and then how does your category, what is your category's percent of the store space? So you have a little bit of a difference there. And then layout. Remember layout, studies show that candy should go next to cereal is one of the best examples. So you need to determine your adjacencies and where your category needs to fit. And candy and cereal is always a good one. All right, so here are your steps. You determine your tactical choices available, the options that you're going to deliver strategies. Remember, you're tying all this in. You need to validate your impact. Whether you have to test it somewhere or whether you have to use secondary data from somebody else, you've got to validate your impact. This is not just on a whim. This is not just, well, I did it somewhere before, this is going to work. Okay, this is real life here. You complete your tactigram and then you review your impacts. You need to review your impacts to make sure that you're going to hit your goal. Remember, you're trying to either close a gap or protect your surplus. Tactigram, this is a grid. It's an impact grid. Shows intended results versus goals. And it's one last check before action. Aloha.